Awakening.
Welcome back once again to another video on this crazy E3 conference Nintendo Day. Treehouse footage is out, and taking a look at Link's Awakening here. This game is going to be amazing, just like many that they've shown today.
Sorry, I had to break the pot. It's over now.
How many of you are pumped for this game? I wasn't super pumped for it at first,
beautiful tilt shift,
although it looked good.
Effect we've got going.
And
kind of an
now
I'm
ready for this game.
On the corners of the screen, so it's just a really
reminds me of being a kid again, like just the colors to this game, the fun that I'm actually gonna have.
I was hoping perhaps you could tell us a little bit about
once it starts cooling down just a little bit, I'll be out on my front porch drinking a beer, playing this on the small screen on the Switch, just hanging out. I'll be playing it in the dark in my backyard next to the fire. So let's see what they have to say about this game. We got Kate, we got Aonuma here.
And so, actually, this game, I wasn't actually involved in creating it. I was just a player playing this game.
Wow, that's cool. Even though these are, you know, boxed off section rooms, something like that plant right in the corner there, expanding up and over the edge, that gives it a lot of character for being this, you know, not 3D, completely 3D immersed world. Like, it gives a lot of character to just being in that room. It adds more dimension to it. Same for this hut here, with these leaves going around the edge.
And so when I played it on the original Game Boy version, it was on this small screen, and it felt like a small world, but very vast as well. And so it kind of had this tilt shift perspective, and so that's why I thought this miniature diorama-like art style would be perfect for this.
I'm
game.
So pumped up.
It really is.
Like, the adrenaline has just been to the floor all day. I'm starting to get my second wind.
I didn't mean that. I only mean to hit Kukos. So
don't do that either.
Oh, I disagree. We hard disagree on that point. So I'm going into the Chindi game shop here, and even fans who played the original game are going to notice a little bit of a difference here, because there are actual real crane physics going on here. So I'm going to try my best to get this Yoshi figure, but it's pretty difficult with the crane.
Yeah, the crane physics make this a lot more fun, I think.
And speaking of Yoshi,
it's looking good.
Oh, I might.
Oh, yeah.
Am I going to pull it off?
It's looking pretty good.
Oh, no.
It's
Slipped
almost.
She dropped it.
So close.
I know, but speaking of Yoshi, that's not a face that you usually see in Zelda games.
I wish they would put this out on 3DS as
on the
well.
original localization of the game. Perhaps you could just really quickly.
Like, I'd be really interested to see this on the 3DS.
It would like to see a Mario face in a Zelda game for the first time.
Well, I was surprised as anyone. You know, I think the team was trying to create sort of a otherworldly atmosphere and bringing in some things that would make people kind of wonder, you know, what's going on here. Yeah. And I think that adds to the mystery of the story. And
they definitely,
and really,
I can tell, you can already tell that they achieved that.
Really makes it feel like a different world.
Yeah. Absolutely, it really does. And like we said, this is a true. I'm going to try and get that heart one more time. I won't make
really
people watch
for
me
this to
fail
come out.
over
You
and
got
over
plenty
again.
of rupees.
I do.
And you know, I was like, all right, thumbs up.
This really
you know,
is a
like a
truly
B.
classic Zelda game.
I was at like
brought to
80%.
So I was hoping
maybe like 77.
What it was like returning to a more traditional
you know,
Zelda game.
an all right Metacritic score. I was like, all right, this game will be, it'll be good. Like, I'll play it. I'll buy it. But now I'm actually really excited. Like, I wish this shadow dropped.
And so the original Game Boy version was released 26 years ago, so it's a little bit hard to get your hands on the original game. So I've always wanted to remake this title.
I wish I still had my original cartridge.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had borrowed it from a friend, and I ended up with it. And I thought it was weird because I was probably like 9. I might have even been 7, like, I don't really recall. But he had it, he played it, he beat it, and I think I borrowed it from him, and I kind of made the cartridge mine.
And so why now?
And I think his stepbrother, who I'm friends with, at some point saw it in my collection and stole it back.
Now because a lot
And I
of
always
people have
had,
played Breath of the
and
Wild,
still
they
do,
could
I
go
still
back
have my
to
Game
something, a
Boy
more traditional Zelda,
in its
like Link's
original
Awakening, and we
pouch.
hope that this gameplay will be fresh for
That's
people.
from like 1988.
It
Like, I was,
absolutely
like,
feels
2
brand
when I
new.
first
I've
got the
played
Game
Link's
Boy.
Awakening probably a million times, but
And I
this
remember
feels
that,
like a brand new
strangely.
game. It's absolutely delightful.
Like, I remember opening the box
And
to
so,
that, and I was maybe...
now that I somehow managed to get that
I
Yoshi
wasn't
doll
even
out of
3.
that crane game, I'm gonna chop all the grass in the world. No, I'm not really.
But anyways, I thought it was really
this
weird,
Yoshi
like
doll is
washing up on
actually
the
a part
ocean,
of
like
a
what I...
pretty
Like, I'd
vast
played some
training
of
quest
Zelda,
in this game.
the original
So
on the
I'm gonna
NES.
go
I remember watching
into
my
this
brother
house,
beat
which I
that.
love looking
and I would
around.
sit
There's
right
so many
here,
little details in this house. There's like
and he'd be like,
chopped
get
up
away,
piece
like,
of
I'm trying
food
to
on
beat
that
it. And
cutting
he'd be
board,
getting
all
shot
these
at,
little beds in
trying
a
to do,
row,
like, the
little
ladder
toys.
over the
Bunched up
water.
together. I suppose if you want to get into the one at the very
And I
end,
just
you
wanted
have
to play
get
it
the
so
first one
bad.
and just roll all
And
the
I
way
did, like,
over.
when he wasn't
Absolutely.
around, but
So before I
he
do
was
this lady
the
a favor,
NES
I
master
need to throw
in the
that at her
house.
baby.
She's
And,
holding a baby.
so I thought I
Throw
knew,
that at
like,
her
what
baby.
Zelda was,
But I'm
and then
doing her a
I remember
solid
playing
here, so
that,
it's
and it just
fine.
being in, you
Gonna
know,
break her pots, throw
black
things at her
and
baby,
white, but it's
and
actually
then give her a Yoshi doll.
greenish
Yeah.
brown.
Absolutely.
It's mucus and white.
And so in exchange for that, I got a ribbon.
And just being
then
on
I
the
can
beach
exchange
and
the ribbon
thinking,
with
like,
someone
this
else in
isn't
this world. So
what I remember Zelda
everybody
being, like
wins.
fighting crabs and
So I
stuff on
know,
the
that
beach.
Audrey touched on it a little
And
bit
then
earlier
seeing,
with
like, the
Dan, but
chain
Dan, you
chomp.
did work on the original localization
And I
for
remember
this
just
title.
thinking, like, oh, maybe he's
Yeah,
more
and-
like
and
Mario.
This world is filled with all kinds
Or
of
that's what
different
this game
charming
is.
And
And then I
quirky
just remember that
characters.
fish in
And-
that
and
song.
I was wondering if
When
you
you
had
talk to
any
her and it does
particular
the-
favorite.
It's
the
really hard to
whistle
pick a favorite
song,
because there's so many.
whatever
I was
it's
trying to think
called.
of a good answer for this, and the only one I could remember was that alligator named Sail.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is how you
yes.
think.
Right.
I don't know why he stuck in my mind, but I just thought it was very funny that there was an alligator named Sail who would sell you things. But I'm curious what Aonuma-san's favorite characters
Yeah,
are again.
青沼さんの一番好きなキャラクターは誰でしょうか？
はい、そこに今画面にいますけど、ワンワンっていうね、マリオに出てくるキャ
I
ラクター
really like
です
this art
けど、
style.
本当にネタバレになっちゃうんであんまり言えない
It's
ん
really
ですけど、
fitting when
す
they
ごい
just
活躍を
showed
してくれ
the,
て、もう僕はずっとこ
you
のワン
know,
ワンと一緒にい
several
たかったぐらい
frames cutting
And
from
so,
one
as
to
you can see on
another
the
in that
screen,
initial
my favorite
reveal.
character is Bow Wow. You know, he's kind of a
It
the
just
familiar
isn't
face
the
from
same
the Mario
as
series.
at least
And
just
I won't go
seeing
into too
one
much
part
detail
of the
because I don't
world
wanna
play
go
out.
spoiling everything,
It's
but,
just not
you
the
know,
same.
I honestly hope that I could
And
travel
here it
the
is
whole
looking
world with Bow Wow.
Just
That's a
stupendous.
solid choice. And look, there's a little baby
It's
one.
amazing.
Oh,
I can't
adorable.
wait. And people complain about the
my favorite
$60.
character is
It's
actually Marin, and
it's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
go
worth
and talk
it.
to her right now.
I think
the
this game,
story
even if you
actually,
know what
again,
you're
we're not
doing,
gonna
will
spoil
take like
anything, but Link,
7,
is
8 hours to
shipwrecked
play
on this
through.
island, and Marin
And if you're a
actually rescues
first-timer,
him. And
you
so
get
then he
like
has
12
to go
or
and try
maybe
and
even
find a way
15
off of
hours
this
out of this,
seemingly
just
inescapable
roaming
island
around
by
trying to
finding
figure
the
out
8
what to
instruments of the
do.
sirens and awakening
And
the
now
Windfish.
with
And
the
Marin
dungeon
here is
builder,
singing my one of
that
my
just
all-time
seems
favorite
like,
songs, Ballad of the Windfish.
that's
It's an
fan
original song from
service.
this game.
You
It's
know, we can all
absolutely
tell that, 'cause it's
heartbreakingly
not-
gorgeous.
you build
It's
your
hard
own.
not to
Unless
get
there
emotional listening to
It
is
really
more
I'm not
to
gonna
it
tear
than
up.
meets
If
the
I
eye.
myself, I
Now,
wouldn't, but it's really
if
beautiful.
the dungeon
I have to go
builder
ahead and grab a
isn't
Kugo just to
accessible
lighten the mood. So
or
I
shown
tried. But,
anywhere at
all of it
E3,
is
if that's just
the
not
segment.
part of the
yes,
playable
Zelda's
build,
known for its music,
then
and this game is no exception. The
we
music,
might
the sound
see
design, everything
we might
is
see
just
more of
expertly
it
done,
later. There
as
might be
all
an
of the
aspect
games
to it
are.
where
And so
you can maybe
one other
rotate
thing
the
I wanna
rooms
do
or
here
add different
is
things to it. I don't
I'm
think
gonna
it's
jump
going to
in a
be
well,
like that.
because that seems to me like
Just
a
seems
good
like
idea.
you add
Yeah.
So
the
there I
initial
go.
rooms that you've gone through and you can
my
piece them
brilliant
together.
plan
But
paid off.
to
Yeah,
what
just
degree,
get
I don't know.
rewarded for
And that
it.
could
Yes.
just be
Don't
the
try
first
to
step.
let home goes.
of many. I mean, imagine like a Zelda
So,
dungeon
we
maker. I
already
don't
asked
really.
about your favorite character
Without the
on
rest of the
Musan,
game,
but
I don't see
there's
much of a
so
point
much
to
love
it.
about this game. Could you tell us what your favorite thing
But maybe
about
it's
this
just
game
like a
is?
standalone like eShop title for maybe like 20
本作
bucks.
で好きなキャラの話していただきましたけど、
25, maybe even
本作で
30
青沼さん
max,
が
where you could
好きな
just
ことは何でしょうか？
rotate and add stuff and
この
do
ゲームね
different like
えっと
the floors that fall
2D
through and
バー
add
ジョン
different
の
paths
プロ
and
デューサー
put
の手塚
you know
が作ったっていう
different
こともあって
obstacles and be able to
さっき言ったワン
choose
ワンとか
what walls to blow up with a
マリオのキャラ
ROM and then put like a boss at the end. Like that just on its own could be a cool thing. And I remember when people, were talking about this, because Zelda Maker has been mentioned since Mario Maker. So since like 2012, people have been saying, Zelda Maker, Zelda Dungeon Maker, Mario 64 Maker. And it just seems like it's hard enough to make, you know,
and so,
like a Labo,
a lot of the dungeons
Toy-Con
even have
garage
side-scrolling stages,
game.
which is again not very something you
Like,
see often
I
in the
tried
Zelda
doing that,
series.
and that's hard enough, and I didn't even try with the Labo VR. And then talking about being able to do 3D, and people think it's just going to be like Mario Maker, where you just select something and make it work. 3D is just a whole different world to be able to make it so that people can
And
just
so,
select templates
the
and
characters also are very
shift
memorable.
things
They're lively,
around,
they're comical,
you
but
know,
they also
super
bring
easily.
tears
It's
to
just
your
not-
eyes, you know?
it's
And
not
so,
realistic.
A lot of that
At least not
influenced what I had to do
Maybe in the
when I was
future, though, I'd be
developing
curious
Zelda
to
going
see
forward.
what something like Mario Maker or
Absolutely.
Dungeon
And,
Maker could be in
you may have seen a
15
second ago,
years
I was
from
using
now.
my shield. I want to point out that
Maybe
a
it will get
huge,
to that someday.
UI
I don't
improvement
know.
of this game
What
is
do you
that
guys
your
think?
sword, shield,
You guys
things
liking
like
this
your power
video?
bracelet,
Does anybody even
boots are
watch
always
my
equipped,
channel?
which is a huge improvement
didn't
on the
think
original
so.
because that frees
I feel
up
very lonely
your
doing
Y and
this
X button
channel,
for
but
whatever else you want to
I'm
equip,
trying
and it just
anyway.
makes things a lot easier. And
It's for
that's one
fun.
of the things I really love about this version of the
And I
game
love
is
video
that
games.
it retains the
And I
classic
hope you do
feel and
too.
personality.
And I hope you were
of
excited
the
by
original,
E3
but with
today. I
the
really do. I
just
hope
perfectly
everybody
refined UI
enjoyed
of
it.
modern Zelda games, which
Yeah.
is really
Because even though I
really
enjoyed
cool
it,
to
there's
see.
times where I'm like,
And one last thing I'm going to point out
that
here
one
in Maiden
wasn't that
Village
good. Like,
is,
that
we
game
see Dompe's
isn't
chef
that
mentioned
great.
on this
Yeah.
Like
side.
even the Smash
And that's
Direct
kind of
last year.
interesting because
I like
Dompe
Smash.
was not originally in
I
this
don't love
game.
Smash.
And what is
Well,
he
actually, I do
doing
love
in this
Smash.
game? I'm not
But I'm
going to
not
tell
in
you,
love
but
with
we're going
it.
to tell you a
I'm
little
not
bit
that
later
great
in the
at it.
segment. Just a little bit of
And
a
even though
tease.
that took from,
But,
you know,
I
half
think
of
I've
it,
explored Maid Village enough, and I'm going to go ahead and
you know, it
show
basically was
us
more
a
than
little
half of the
something
direct.
else.
Oh, yeah?
But I wasn't
Yeah.
sour towards anybody
full of
who
full of
was
secrets on this day.
flipping their desk and, you know, running amok and screaming. Like,
Yeah, we're very, very
I still
excited
loved
to
that,
announce
so
that the Color Dungeon is indeed
I enjoy
in this version
games.
of the
I hope
game.
that you enjoy me enjoying
The Color
games,
Dungeon was first
whether it's
introduced
streaming
in the
or
DX version from the
just
Game
me
Boy
talking
Color,
about this kind of stuff. And I
this
hope
is
the same for you,
complete
that you enjoy
version,
the games
of
that you
this.
like.
So, as I said, we're
And that
very,
you get the
very
games
happy
that you
to
like.
confirm that the
Because
Color
that's what
Dungeon
this is
in
about.
this
This
game.
should just
Right.
be about
Color
fun.
maybe
It
not quite
doesn't
as
have to be
novel as it was
about
on
business
Game
and
Boy
numbers
Color,
and like
but
this
still
whole
really neat to see
fanboy
that all of the content of that
wars.
DX
Like
version
I'm
is
so sick of
represented
that. I
here.
don't even participate
Absolutely.
in any of
And as
that.
you can see, these camo goblins kind of sink
Even if
into
you're
the
an
ground
Xbox
in their
fan
various colors.
And
And
even on
as
like
you
an
can see, I'm
Xbox
going to
thing
bring you
where
up. I'm sorry.
like an Xbox video or an Xbox page and you say something about the Xbox and it's
Thank you for your patience, Aonuma-san.
not just middle of the road, but it's a little bit,
So this is a puzzle.
you know,
I'm
in
not gonna go
favor
too far
of,
into this
then
dungeon. I
all
don't
of a
wanna
sudden
spoil
you're
it
a
for
fanboy.
everybody,
Somebody will
but
come
basically
out
you
and
hit
call you a
these switches
fanboy.
and
There's been
it
times where
changes
I've just
the,
written something
switches
about
next to
like,
them. I've played this about a billion
well,
times,
this,
so
you know,
I know.
2 directs
I know what I'm
ago,
doing
like
here.
that one was great, and this past one,
Yes.
it wasn't all that
I'm
great,
not gonna
but
go
on the bright
too
side,
much
we did
farther,
get this
but I would
and
be
this, and we
remiss as a
saw
Zelda
more of
fan
this,
if I
and then
let
someone
this
comes out of the
clearly
woodwork,
bombable wall
and they're
pass
under
me.
your comment
So it's
saying
got
like,
cracks in
of
it, it makes a
course,
different
there's always
sound when you
someone
hit it
who's
with your
just
sword. It's
blindly
begging to be
accepting
bombed.
everything
So I'm going
Nintendo
to go
does.
ahead
You're
and
just
do
can't
it.
think for yourself. You're just
Boom.
blindly
And I'm
accepting all
rewarded
this
with a
trash,
room
and
full
it's
of
like,
rupees, which is one of the
when
best
did
things in
gaming
the world.
stop
to be
becoming
honest.
fun?
I'm going to get them all.
Okay.
It hasn't.
We can go about our business. Da-na-na-na.
But when you add the
Stop
internet
being a
to
nerd
it,
now and just get the
everybody
rest of the
tries to
rupees.
take the fun out of it. So
All
I'm
right,
here to add
and,
the fun
that
back
was all
into
I'm
it.
going to show you of the Color
So I just wanna let you
Dungeon.
know that.
As I said, it's just
If
kind
you
of a
agree,
sneak peek, and
hit the
now
thumbs
I'm going
up.
to show you something that's brand new to the game. Take it away, Sam.
That's
Sorry I've
right.
been talking
we
so
saw
much.
This in the Nintendo
But I'm
Direct.
enjoying the
But there was
gameplay,
a
even
new
though I'm
little
talking
bit
to
that
you
was
and
added
having
to the Legend of
conversation.
Zelda: Link's
I'm
Awakening
still
for Nintendo Switch.
enjoying
So just as the
myself.
Color Dungeon
And
with
I decided to
brand new
give a
content
different
for
kind
the
of camera
DX
view
version.
here, so
What
I
we've
have my
got here for
camera
the
right here,
Nintendo
and even
Switch
though I'm
version
looking
is
here,
called the Chamber Dungeon.
I don't
And
know
just to give
what
you an
I'm
idea of where we are in the
trying
world
to
here, we're in
allude
Telltale
to, or what the
Heights,
point of
and
that
we're,
was.
right, at least just slightly to the
If
east
you like
here
this game,
of this
subscribe.
Moblin hideout.
How
we
about that?
see this new location, and
It's looking
this is something
smooth.
that
Frame rate's looking
the
great.
DX players might recognize as being the camera HUD, but But
I'm also pumped for the Crypt of the
Necrodancer. Looks a little bit like a shack.
If I had that extra $4, I would be buying the first one just to play around with the mechanics, which maybe I'll buy that tomorrow or the next day and try to stream it before the new one, or at least play it.
He wasn't originally here on Koholint Island, so would you like to talk a little bit about what he's doing here?
Because the new one's definitely more refined. It's more colorful, and then it has the Zelda universe, so that brings its own characteristics of it. And the first one looks a little more like 8-bit-ish. It's a little more rough around the edges and pixelated. I think this man right here in the bottom corner, I think he helped out in some way or another, giving that game some polish. Like, I think they hired some people from Nintendo. They were like, all right, you can do the game, and then we'll polish it up for you so that it's not just a piece of shit.
Or chamber dungeons.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be. Ooh. Okay, so I am missing this. They're going to the dungeon builder. Alright, let's hear this.
パネルにしてですね、それを並べることで実際のそのダンジョンがアレンジできるっていうそういう遊びで、そのお題をですねこのダンペイさんが出してくれるっていうそういう遊びになってます。
And so what are chamber dungeons? So they are where you can create your own dungeons. If you complete a dungeon, you get pieces that you for each room that you cleared, and you could rearrange them to make your own dungeon. And so Dampe will be the one that introduces you to challenges in creating chamber dungeons.
でダンジョンをね、ユーザーがこう自分でアレンジできるって遊びは前からゼルダに入れてみたいなってずっと思ってたんですけど、誰もができるようにするために難しいこと考えなくてもできるパズルを解くような感覚でそれを解くとダンジョンができるそういう遊びにしました。
And so I've always wanted to create a way for players to create their own dungeon, but I didn't want to make it anything too hard. So just like a puzzle or solving a puzzle, I wanted to make this chamber dungeon easy enough for people to play and feel like they're solving a puzzle.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see here, so I've started a little bit of a dungeon arrangement here. And the way these chambers are arranged, up at the top here, they're categorized in depending on how many doorways they have. So you can see here, these are all chambers that have one doorway. These are all chambers that have two, etc. And then you can see they're further categorized into where the doorways are exiting out of the chambers. So a few things about dungeon arrangement in the chamber dungeon. You'll need to make sure that you have at least an entrance and a nightmare. Those are kind of the primary components of any dungeon. But also you'll want to make sure that all of the doorways are connected to other doorways. So you can't leave any of those just hanging or unfulfilled there. So you can see I'm starting to make a little bit of a dungeon arrangement here. And you might notice a few other things. So some of these chambers have icons on the underneath of them. And those give you an idea of the sorts of features that are available in this particular chamber.
I need a Nintendo Switch.
So you can see this one has a treasure chest. And
I might just make my own with
some of them have
Sharpie.
locked doors. If you're using locked doors, you need to make sure that you include enough chambers with treasure chests to supply enough keys for you to get through all of those locked doors. And the way those stairways connect is really fun because what you can do is if you use stairways, they'll automatically create a sub area that you'll have to go through between the two stairways. And that's one of those 2D side-scrolling sections that Anuma-san was talking about a little bit earlier. And you might see some fun enemies in there. I love
how any Japanese guy gets San at the end of his name.
So the chamber dungeon, unlike
just
any
out
other
of
dungeon
respect.
before, you arrange these yourself.
And Reggie.
But they're challenges.
Like Reggie
you have to go through this
they
puzzle
don't say like Doug
of
Bowser
arrangement. And once you're finished with
it was cool to see
then
Bowser
you have
today.
To adventure through your dungeon. So
I really sort of think they're past that
the chamber dungeon can actually take a little bit of time to arrange.
Showing like the
heads,
it is a puzzle, like it just
so
seems
takes some
like
time to get through.
the directs and stuff. They're gonna keep these several
just here. So
the several presenters that they have, you know, on and off for the Switch. over the next several years, I don't think we'll be seeing much Bowser.
If it works.
And you're very, very devious, so I'm sure.
And although I do love the E3 Nintendo Direct, I
seem to have
do
a
wish
little bit of issue with the controller here. Let me try and get that sorted out.
Nintendo would put their finger on the pulse a little more,
I was wondering if
and just come out on stage for 15-20 minutes and say,
how it mixes up the gameplay.
Like, here's what's going on with the hardware. Here's our vision for the Nintendo Online. Here's some of the things we can tell you today. Here's some of the things we can't tell you. Because Reggie was, for the past, like, couple years, he's been the Dodger. It's, hey Reggie, what's going on with this thing? Oh, no announcements for you today. Like, I've seen a couple where the guy was like prodding him. Like, well, what about this? What about that? Well, we at Nintendo, we like to, have family-oriented games. And then it's like, okay, so does that mean we're going to be getting this or that? And it's, the guy interviewing him was like, let me guess, no new announcements today. And then Reggie got really mad in one of them. I forget which one it was. Reggie got quite an attitude with him, and the guy got like blushy in the face. It was so funny.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, this is
but
just
I think
like
those days are sort of over.
So if you go back to your memories of how you completed
as great
this
as the
dungeon
Direct
and then
was,
play this
it's
dungeon as well,
a little bit of a
leave
shame
very
that
strong impression while you play. And
they
also,
don't just come out on stage
you progress
say
the
like,
main story,
Animal Crossing got pushed back, like we were having some of these issues.
All right, so
not that they need to, and not that the explanation of, hey, we're pushing it back so that it can be better. That is enough. And I don't want it to be some long, drawn-out thing where they come out and talk about the great accelerometers of the Wiimotes. And, they kind of did that when the Switch was revealed.
You get a clear time. And you'll see that that's 7 minutes and 42 seconds
2+ years ago, or almost 3 years now,
is you can challenge
when it was revealed, and they talked about it then.
Beat your dungeon faster and faster. Or
but I just think those awesome meme days of Reggie Fils American
to beat your dungeon in a faster time. So
I've been hitting Reggie up on Twitter. Not that he's ever gonna read something from me.
And see if you could please beat my clear time.
But I keep bugging him, once a week for like the past, 2 months to live stream new Nintendo games. You know how many people would watch that? If you saw like Reggie live on Twitter, I guess, or YouTube, and he was playing Link's Awakening on like release day, that would be one of the coolest freaking things ever.
Aonuma-san, of course, has spent, I'm sure, many years thinking about the dungeon arrangement and the flow of a player's movements through a dungeon and about pacing the puzzles properly. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to get on with this dungeon where I've thought about none of those things.
This was designed to torture other treehouse members.
One of the things I've always found weird.
Apologies. I admittedly
Japanese, they have their own language, they have their own dialect.
Here. Yeah,
so
using the map
when they say
really
Nintendo,
an effective way to get through this particular dungeon.
It's like an English dialect of their language that they don't have their own dialect for. Like, they don't just go Hoshida, and that's Nintendo. They're like, oh, the Hoshida. Oh, and then Nintendo Switch.
He's calling his shots. I like it.
So then he's looking at the controller here, too. And I'm guessing the Japanese controller is A, B,
these
X,
guys
and
could
Y.
be really challenging. They're more like a timing puzzle.
Is it? I've never actually
trying to defeat them.
looked
and
at
as
a
you
Japanese
mentioned,
controller, I
since
guess.
it times your completion, it's a real
And even games in Japanese
to
just have
try
A,
and best
B.
your friend's
I've
time
played
during
those.
a dungeon.
So it would seem weird if they don't use our alphabet.
He's doing really well
How come their alphabet isn't on the controller?
I think my clear time again was like 7 minutes, 42 seconds.
It's kind of weird.
He's on a really good pace right now.
Already got another key.
It's like,
this is
oh, Hoshida,
like
The Legend of Zelda.
These are all familiar rooms.
Why
so
isn't it
seen
just
these rooms in other dungeons?
Hoshida Domo,
and
like
Dompe
in
will create
Japanese?
these chambers for you. And even though you know the puzzle, you may know the way through it, because they're all arranged in a completely different order, it's a new type of challenge.
Yes, and that really adds someone, even if you're somebody
All right,
who has
I don't know what the point of this video was. I don't really want to see too much more, but I did want to see it in action. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to go over a little bit of it in this video. Are you guys excited for it like me? Because I'm really pumped. I wish this was out sooner, but 3 months isn't too long. As an adult, time keeps flying by more and more every day. So summer is just starting.
Oh, he knew about your
but it's going to be over as soon as it starts.
I love using those spinning
or
blades,
just as quickly as it came. It will
Zelda,
surely go.
You're thinking about,
so if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you have anything to say, let me know in the comments down in the basement below.
But with those spinning blades,
hit the thumbs up if you like Nintendo. Hit the thumbs down if you don't like D-Dub. I'll see you guys in another video later.